What are some of the measures that African countries can actually pick up to make sure that we get and have an opportunity to boost this the freshwater ecosystems?
Thank you, Brian. I think I'll go straight to just listing some of the actions, and so that we get this very clear. Number one, we have to understand that water resources do not know boundaries. So from a continental perspective, from a global perspective, we have to map our freshwater resources. We have to map, the basin countries, for instance, within the Nile, and ensure there is a transboundary collaboration basin-wide to ensure what are these countries doing policy-wise, governance-wise. There must be regional coordination, so precisely regional coordination. We also have to ensure that these water resources are inherently within certain habitats, certain communities, certain areas. And how do we engage in governance at that local level? People in Baringo, people in Turkana, bordering the Lake Turkana, we have to ensure that our governments, through policies, through acts of parliament, capacitate the local, what we are calling Water Resource Users Association, so that people can manage and protect and conserve water resources at that level. So we cannot just act at the top, but forget what's happening on the ground.
Yes.
We also are encouraging, as non-state actors, we're encouraging governments, especially in a devolved system of governance like ours, we are in Kenya, to ensure that there is national and local level frameworks which are guiding what we are calling spatial planning. So we have to ensure where are our freshwater resources, what are the riparian land, what are the river banks, what are the buffers, where are the wetlands, where are the springs, and what are the planning around, for instance, industrial growth. How are our towns growing? We can't be building aimlessly.
Yeah.
We can't be constructing aimlessly. We can't be building our roads anyhow.
Yeah.
We have to ensure that there is interconnectedness.
Yes.
So there must be sustainable development. There must be a development that observes that nature must be obeyed. Nature must be allowed to thrive.
Yeah.
As we finish,
number 4, just to finalize on that, I think there is something we've been missing, especially in terms of freshwater.
Yeah.
People talk about freshwater as something which is a commodity. No, water is not a commodity. Water is a resource. So we have to look at water as a resource. And therefore, we have to look at the interconnectedness of, for instance, between water, energy, water, health, and how do we ensure, for instance, water which comes from the tap, we got to analyze it. Where does it come from? Where does the people who depend on water in Nairobi, where does that water come from?
Yeah.
And how do we